Hello everybody and welcome to my weekly series, if you want to call it that. I never know what to call it, where we take a look at the new Legend of Korra episode, and I give you my thoughts and feelings and how basically I felt about everything and, my criticisms, and sometimes we do get kind of critical of the show here on this weekly series, but we're almost over. I'm actually going to be reviewing episode 10 today, and then tomorrow episode 11. I didn't get a chance to watch last week's episode. Some real-life stuff, and I was just busy, so I really didn't get to watch it. So I figured, I'll just wait until Friday. I'll watch episode 10, and then I'll watch episode 11. But I'm going to split them up into two different episodes because I initially wasn't planning on doing it before I watched episode 10, we're reviewing that one today, episode 10, called Operation Beifong. But after I finished it, I figured I'd split it in two, because if for some reason episode 11 is really bad, I didn't want it to taint this video of my review of episode 10. So let's just get into it, and you'll find out why really quickly. So like I said, episode 10 is called Operation Beifong. And my God, you guys, I think if there was a perfect episode of Legend of Korra, this probably was it. Maybe the best episode of the entire series. I thought it was just absolutely fantastic. I had zero criticisms, really. We had some amazing Toph action, some amazing earthbending action, just awesome stuff everywhere around. Nothing negative to say about it at all, so let's get right into the review. I said, my first note was, thank God Lin exists to tell Bowen to shut the hell up. It makes me love her even more than I already do, if that is somehow possible. And so then Toph appears right at the beginning of the episode. I saw her at the preview. I actually did watch the preview after 2 weeks ago, after episode 9, I watched the preview and Toph showed up. I assumed that would probably be at the end of the episode to be like kind of a teaser, but it happens right away. I love Toph. I'm super pumped that she showed up. The interactions between Toph and Lin and Sue and basically the whole family is just amazing. I like the line in the very beginning where Toph's like, "What's up with him?" and Lin just goes, "Well, he's an actor." The best interaction so far. And then my next note immediately after that is, oh my God, Toph is already amazing again, and I'm so happy that they're doing it. So then we get to it cuts from Toph and Lin preparing to free Sue and all of them who are captured by Kuvira to Republic City, where they're having the meeting of the counselors. And, Korra surprised me. She actually had a good idea, asking for once if the spirits will help defend the city, and to defend Asami and Varric's argument that they shouldn't be using the spirit weapon technology. That was actually a very good plan for the Avatar, especially to make. So call me impressed. And then Prince Wu gives good ideas too to go evacuate the civilians. What show is this? What show is this? Where am I? Who are you people watching me? What's going on? I mean, everyone acted the way I thought they should have acted. And they even kept it consistent with Prince Wu, because they made it seem like he made such a drastic change, but immediately after the council ends, he has that scene with Mako where he says, I'm just doing it for the ladies. And I think dropping some truth bombs there where he says most powerful men do what they do for some kind of woman in their life at some point. I thought that was pretty funny and kind of true, if you think about history. So we cut to Batar Jr. Testing out the weapon, and once again, before the episode even ended, I was convinced that, I've said from the beginning, Julie was never with Kuvira. She was always going to betray her. I saw it again here. My note here was, though, Batar Jr. really needs to get his ass whooped by Toph. This really needs to happen. Someone needs to beat the shit out of him, because there are a few characters that I legitimately hate, and not hate them because I think they're bad, but hate them because they're supposed to be hated, I think. And Batar Jr. is one of them. I just despise him as a character. Someone just needs to kick the shit out of him, and I really hope somebody does it. I put Toph down because I just want her to do everything, just have her solo all the world's problems. But so yeah. So we get to where Toph and Lin are freeing their family, and my note here was, seriously, can there just be a show where Toph, Lin, and Sue go on adventures? Can we just see the Beifong Adventures TV show? I would totally watch the hell out of that. I think they are by far the best characters on the show, and I'm so sad I'm not going to be able to see the Beifongs anymore when Korra is over. Just bummed out. And so I always have the biggest smile on my face when Toph does anything. I did in The Last Airbender. I do in Legend of Korra. Toph just makes every scene that she's in, I feel like. I like how they again reference she was the one who kind of famously made... She didn't make this idea, but she was the one who brought it into like popularity in the first series, at least, to her group of friends. The idea of sensing people through the ground, and I'm glad they brought that back up again. They also brought back up that Toph is really great at telling when people are lying. She says that when she notices that Julie was lying to Kuvira. I'm glad that they brought that up again. They were hitting all of the right notes here. My note here, before we actually saw the end of the episode, I said, yes, Toph confirms that Julie was lying. Hopefully that means she's working against Kuvira and not just lying to save her own skin, which, funnily enough, is what Toph actually argues she might be doing at the end of the episode. So awesome. And then there's the scene where there's a conversation between Bolin and Toph talking about earthbending and how Bolin mentions he can lava bend. And I wonder if Toph can lava bend. I really hadn't considered this, but she doesn't do it in this episode. But I think, and I'm pretty sure she's gone now, because at the end of the episode she kind of says, I'm done doing all of this, and she leaves. But I think it'd be very interesting to see if Toph can lava bend. She does say it's a very rare talent, but Toph is the one who kind of made metal bending. She invented it, so I'm pretty sure she's a pretty extraordinary metal bender, or earthbender. I'm just curious if she could do that. So we get the conversation between Lin and Toph, where we get more of her backstory. We learn about her dad's name. I can't even remember it because it doesn't really matter probably, but, shit's getting really super real in this episode, and I like it a lot. I think it adds a great second layer of depth to what's going on. There's this whole tension between Lin and her mom that doesn't exist between Lin and her sister anymore, and apparently never existed, or at least hasn't existed for a long time, between Sue and her mother. So I really like that they didn't forget that they established earlier in the series that Lin has a lot of issues with her mom. So I just thought... And then we get to the rescue scene, and my note here was just, I love the entire thing. I have no notes here for that scene because it was so great. I was so engaged watching it happen. I was just enjoying myself so much as I was watching it that I had nothing to say. And then we get to the scene where Kuvira finds out that Julie has been screwing over with the machine, and I wrote, my note was I totally called it. I knew from the very beginning that she hadn't betrayed her. Julie is amazing. One of the very, very strange but welcome, sudden character importance given to Julie this season. And I really, really like how she's turned out. She's always been, she went from like Varric's just subordinate who did whatever he said to, her standing up against Kuvira and saying she's a monster and all of this. And it was a great scene. She had a really good scene standing up to Kuvira. But goddamn, Kuvira gonna use the weapon then on Julie as she's in the town. She's pretty much gone full on Hitler now, I feel like. And then right after she says that, my note was, I really want to see Toph fight Kuvira. That needs to happen before the episode's over. Please let it happen. I mean, it doesn't, but, what we get instead still was pretty fantastic. So then the rescue goes off without a hitch, for the most part. Kind of funny seeing Sue's husband, whose name Batar. I was like, I don't remember what his name is, but Batar Jr. is named after his dad. Seeing Batar afraid to get launched through the air, I thought that was funny. But the one, this isn't a criticism really, but the one, thing I found really odd this episode was Sue just, lets Opal leave on this ridiculously dangerous thing she's gonna do and doesn't even say anything to her. She just kind of lets her go without a single word. I thought that was pretty strange. But I guess they didn't have a lot of time to say things between each other, but she did have time to be like, no, don't go to where the giant mega death cannon was gonna shoot. That's probably not a good idea. I know, I just found that pretty strange. So then we get to Korra's scene, trying to convince the spirits, and, I thought this was a really well-done scene. I felt like Korra's logic was good. I couldn't fault her logic. That being said, I can't fault the spirits' logic either for explaining why they aren't going to get involved. I think the spirit made a very good comparison and contrasting Korra to Unalaq and Vatu. Even though we know as viewers that Korra is good and that they were evil, if you look at it from the spirit's perspective, I think they make a really good point. So, like I said, the scene was just well done all the way around. Korra actually was doing good. I had no problems with her. I thought it was great. So, and that ends. She doesn't get her help, unfortunately. But basically we find out, before that I forgot to mention, all the spirits basically are abandoning Republic City, because they know, as we find out at the end of the episode, Kuvira is coming to take Republic City in 2 weeks, which I did say was probably her plan. I think it was last episode that the show pointed out a long time ago. I remember, at least specifically, they mentioned this in the comics when they established Republic City, that they established it on Earth Kingdom land. So it wouldn't be surprising if she then Kuvira marched on Republic City. So that turns out that's what's happening. And so we get to the conclusion scene where the whole big battle takes place, and you know, the metal bending fight between Sue and Kuvira was amazing. Probably one of the best fights of either series. I loved when Sue grabs the metal off the thing and is spinning it in the air to block Kuvira's metal shards she's throwing at her, and then steals the armor from the metal. I thought that was awesome. It was so well animated. I was just watching it in awe of just I was just, my mouth was open. I felt like, it felt like a 12-year-old girl watching I don't know, One Direction. I was so excited about what was going on. But then Toph saves the day at the very end. I'm sad that she doesn't fight Kuvira, but I started losing my shit when they were all surrounded by all the Earth Kingdom people, and I saw the ground just falling out from under them, and I was like, that's Toph. Toph's saving the day. Toph's saving the day, and then I squealed kind of like a little girl when the smoke cleared and Toph's standing there like a fucking badass. And so then we get to the end, and I really like how Toph explains that the reason why Katara never got involved with the civil war between the Water Tribes in Book 2, which I never even thought about. I never even considered that she would or should have gotten involved. I guess on one hand you could say that's a cop-out from the writers that they didn't include her, but on the other hand it does kind of make sense. But then again, Zuko also got himself involved with, Zahir, and he's at least in the background of everything going on right now, so I don't know. It's not really a criticism. I just kind of find it interesting they willingly brought that up for some reason. I didn't think that was a big problem the show was getting dinged for. Was why wasn't Katara in Book 2? I don't remember anyone saying that. But now that I think about it, she probably should have been. So maybe that's why. I don't know why the scene was here. I don't think it was a bad scene. I'm just kind of confused for it. But there we go. So that's the episode. Like I said, might be the best episode of the entire series. There was story progression, there was amazing fights, everyone was acting in the way their characters should. There was no stupid tropey bullshit, there was no Mary Sue bullshit, there was no Deus Ex Machina shit. Bolin wasn't annoying except for the very end of the episode, but at that point I was already so happy that the episode was so good I didn't even care at that point. I had no problems with it. It was great. So there we go. Episode 10. How did you guys feel about it? Were you as pumped for it as I was? Yeah, leave your thoughts in the comments below. And tomorrow, I'm going to be reviewing the next episode, which is out today. I'm recording this on Friday, so I just finished watching episode 10. I haven't actually watched episode 11 yet. Like I said, I liked this episode so much, I wanted to get all my feelings down, just in case, for some reason, episode 11 is just terrible. I didn't want this video to be episode 10 was good, but blah, 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 and spend 80% of the episode complaining. I felt like this episode deserves to get the praise that I gave it, because it was very good. So, stay tuned tomorrow, guys. Thanks for watching this, as always. Feel free to favorite, subscribe, do all of the shenanigans. Follow me on Twitter if you want to see my ramblings about Korra, or me talking about Warlords of Draenor, or anything else. My Twitter is always in every single comment, or information in the box below. But, yeah, make sure to stay tuned tomorrow for my review of episode 11, and until then, I will see you. Thanks, guys, for watching, and farewell.